Alright, so this has been a video that's been requested on my channel for a long time. I've saved it because it's toxic. I'm going to be honest. It's a toxic discussion. I've gone back and forth on who I think wins. Snyder Cut, when it was dropped, it was a great movie. Way better than the other Justice League. And unfortunately for us, it stands alone as its own solo work, according to Snyder himself. So we have to evaluate Superman in that light. But luckily the movie's like 4 damn hours long, so we do have material. But it just sucks we don't have more material. People act as if this battle is really detailed. It's not fair in terms of material supplemented on both sides. Like Thor has way more to work with, whereas we don't have much for Superman. So what I decided to do to alleviate that, because that bothers me, right? That doesn't feel like a really fair battle. We'll go over Feat's version of each, then like a narrative. And what sucks is Snyder would have given us like a trilogy, and we would have had a complete picture of what Superman's capable of. So I'll kind of speak to that and how I think that would go if we had been given the opportunity to see it. But anyways, let's go over the first category, which is strength. Who do I think stronger? Like a peak Thor or a peak Snyder Cut Superman? So this is interesting. Thor himself does hit hard enough to at least be a threat to Thanos, where even Ragnarok, Hulk was kind of like a joke hitting Thanos, which is quite impressive because Thanos should at least scale to characters like Hela, who look at multi-continental attacks like the Casket of Winners as kind of like a joke. Like, it's okay, but it's kind of a meme. And then in terms of like how hard he hits, obviously his weapon itself massively amps his strength, as Stormbreaker has the potential to one-shot Thanos himself, really do serious damage, the power inside it, to Hulk. And it does have the power made in the weapon itself, that of the complete focused power through a hypothetical Dyson sphere of the neutron star. The neutron stars, of course, are so powerful that literally, like, if the Earth or the Sun were put next to it, it would theoretically turn it 2D with just its gravitational power alone. So its energy, like when it releases in the real world, the energy released from a neutron star is felt throughout the observable universe, like when the explosion happens. So it's a massive power source, like basically last step before like an OD black hole. So it is quite impressive that he can scale to beings like that. And for example, Wong, who clearly doesn't hit as hard as Thor, has been able to partake in battles against beings that could one-shot the world with darkness. And Thor, in Dark World himself, was able to strike against Malekith, who was amped by the Reality Stone, and we know that the stones, according to MCU guidebooks, have infinite power and the power to usurp the universe. If you want a little more like confirmation that just brawling hand-to-hand, his AP can be scaled to like Planet Plus pretty easily. Asgard is stated in MCU guidebooks to be tougher than the Earth itself, and we know that Surtur can literally just like kind of casually one-shot Asgard, completely destroy the literal foundations physically of it. And this is crazy because like meme Hulk, Ragnarok Hulk, was able to pretty easily damage Surtur's crown. So I'm just saying it's pretty easy to scale it up there. Nothing to really be worried about. And he's a lot stronger when he's hitting with the likes of Stormbreaker. Now, on the other hand, what Snyder Cut Superman have? So this is interesting. We know that he scales above the World Forger. That should be at least referenced in this timeline of the Snyder Cut. With the World Forger being, in my opinion, multi-continental, given that it can literally reforge the Earth in a planet itself. He is able to damage and hit Steppenwolf and even break his crown pretty easily with his heat vision. Steppenwolf is a being who has helped subjugate over 100,000 worlds throughout the multiverse, fighting beings, trying to protect those beings, of course, scaling at least relative to like Wonder Woman types and stuff like that. The mother boxes and the power dealt with that, which has been used before around Steppenwolf with no issue. Can completely warp a planet and are stronger than a planet. And literally, Superman and Steppenwolf did not scale. He was massively above him, physically bullied him. So calling him Planet Plus, even in this timeline with little information given, just basically literally one movie, Superman's casually Planet Plus in terms of attack potency with both his striking and his hacks, like his heat vision. At least his heat vision seemed to be massively amped once he awoke and donned the black suit. My reason for saying this is when he snapped and was shooting like Batman with his heat vision, it took like a second for him to even like melt through a car, right? And when he awoke, and you know, when I say awoke, like literally went talked to his father in an amazing scene in which he entered the Kryptonian lair. He came out, and when he used his heat vision, it burnt through Steppenwolf's crown like butter. It was crazy. So obviously he was like massively amped after that, so I wouldn't limit him. There is this curious thing where Snyder, when he was going into the Snyder Cut, had made a chart with the creators to give a reference to their power and how they scaled. And he like compared Superman to a nuke, and he said he wasn't sure how much more Superman would scale above a nuke, if he would even scale to one, if he both got hit with one and was compared to one. But I think that's like completely downplayed now, because obviously he was massively amped when he donned the gray suit and went back to fight Steppenwolf. So I think he's easily Planet Plus in striking and heat vision. So who is stronger, just looking at strength first, in feats to feats, like who's stronger? Base to base, I think they're pretty close in terms of like pure striking strength, but I think that with Stormbreaker, Thor hits harder. So I'd give a slight edge in terms of strength to Thor. Now, looking at speed, this is interesting. I actually came to terms with this today. I believe, literally, consistently, you could say Superman, when he woke up and when he had the gray suit, is as close as you can be to MFTO plus approaching infinite speed before you reality warp. And my reason for saying this is Flash states he has to hold back in Snyder Cut because basically he'll manipulate reality with his real speed, channeling the Speed Force. So he's holding back against Superman, and he has to hold back that eventually he just can't fight Superman. That tells us that he's hit a wall where it's either choose to reality warp to beat this guy, or don't take it to that extreme and like say, yo, chill, I don't want to fight. I don't think I can hurt you. So to put it lightly, his speed, in my opinion, based on Snyder Cut and his interaction with Flash, should be MFTL plus massively consistently approaching but not reaching the next tiering of speed, which Flash can do if he chooses to do. Let's look over at Thor. Thor is interesting. There is some downplay you could do with like Quicksilver being faster than him, and then Quicksilver dying the bullets. However, Quicksilver literally said he didn't see the bullets. He didn't expect them, and he didn't expect something so slow to hit him. So he kind of underestimated them, wasn't moving properly, got lit up as a result. And it was kind of just bad writing, kind of in the way that there's a chart that exists that states like Superman's nuclear, right? Or the fact that Superman is stated like planet plus, but we could imply more. I don't know. Like, it's, you know, damned if you do, damned if you don't as a power scaler. But in general, Thor does have feats like battling an amped Malekith who could spread his power throughout the universe in a relatively short amount of time, which should be MFTL. He does have higher scaling with Thor scaling to Strange, as obviously Strange has battled Dormammu, an extra dimensional being in the dark dimension, which is beyond time and space itself, and is beyond the laws of physics, so it's inaccessible to immeasurable. So he does have higher tier scaling, but I do believe in terms of feats, if you want to like keep a little more integrity in the conversation for consistency, I believe Superman's faster than Thor. Do I think he statues Thor when Thor's at his peak in the MCU? Hell no. I don't think that happens. But I think he's faster, for sure. And I think it makes this conversation really interesting. Moving on. Durability. I feel like this is the most clear-cut aspect of the conversation we've had so far, right? So, I got Thor. Thor literally has tanked for several moments a neutron star, which is solar system. Like, if a neutron star popped up in our solar system, it's one-shotting our solar system relatively quick, if not instantly, right? And he took that full power through a Dyson sphere, which hypothetically the Dyson sphere is supposed to channel the full potential power within a star. So all possible power it could emit, has stored in it, whatever you want to call it. That's what it's producing. He took that for several minutes. That's at least solar system plus, which is absurd. And he took that, not to mention like the gravitational pressure, which was supposed to turn him 2D, and that didn't even affect him. So there's that, right? Compared to Superman, who, if we give Steppenwolf multi-continental to planetary, casually tanked his Strike. Strike did nothing to him. He was like, yo, that shit was trash, right? It was a godly moment. We give him that. He's casually like planet plus to maybe approaching star level. Arguing like, yo, he goes to the sun. The sun's his power source. It's a weird argument. Pretty sure like MCU Electro could probably get near the sun and be fine, considering he's made of electricity, like pure electricity, and how hot lightning is and stuff like that. So that's a weird ass argument to make, but go for it. But in general, I do believe Thor is more durable and is shown to be more durable than Superman. Intelligence, I don't think it really matters here. Both are very skilled fighters. Both have shown adaptability. Superman, Black Suit Superman, I do believe is a little more disciplined and methodical in the way he approaches fights. Like, boom, I'm going to hit you with my ice breath, follow up with a combo, then hit you with the heat breath. Thor kind of just brawls, but then again, and I guess we can merge skill with this, Thor's more skilled, participated in more battles, beat characters that are more skilled and more skill feats than Superman, like gladiators that literally have fought for years upon years upon years. He himself has fought in wars for over 1,000 years. It kind of evens out, and Thor's technically more skilled, Superman's technically more smarter. It kind of balances out, and I believe it's kind of irrelevant overall to the conversation. Hacks, abilities, and gear. Stormbreaker is a big one. It was able to push through the raw power of the gauntlet, even if the gauntlet's not able to hack the magic part of it. What's crazy is it was at least a Power Stone blast, and that just went through it right away. Power Stone and the Infinity Stones are explained to have infinite power, and we can lowball and say that just applies on a universal scale. I'm fine with that. So that's like universal levels of literal power that Stormbreaker just melted through and proceeded to hit Thanos. So scaling with that's excellent scaling for Stormbreaker. So I don't really want to see an argument for the heat vision stopping Stormbreaker. I've actually seen arguments on forums about that, so I hope that didn't surprise you. But Thor has weather manip, lightning, energy blasts, flight, super speed granted because he's using Stormbreaker. He can increase his power output personally when he has Stormbreaker, and it obviously hits a lot harder. Now, on Superman's side of things, flight, super speed, insanely quick reflexes. He has his heat vision, which can even damage the likes of Steppenwolf, who has point blank stood for like planetary changing explosions. He also has his ice breath, which can freeze the axe of Steppenwolf. He has enhanced X-ray vision, super senses, and overall is a physical powerhouse due to his Kryptonian nature and being applicated to the Terran atmosphere. In terms of hacks, abilities, and gear, who do I think has better? Also, by the way, I do believe his suit provides an insane amount of durability as well, because his suit was unbothered by the axe of Steppenwolf. Who do I think is has better hacks, abilities, and gear? I think their hacks, abilities, and gear both suits them well, and I think Stormbreaker's hits harder than anything Superman has, but at the same time, it can be separated from him, where you can't really separate Superman from his part of his hacks. So it's kind of tied there. Thor's is probably better overall, but in terms of reliability, Superman might be a little better. So they're probably going to be tied there, in which this brings us to an interesting point. Who do I think wins feet to feet? So it's tough, man. We one's faster, Superman. One stronger, more durable, Thor. It's kind of basic in that nature. Who do I favor in that situation? I think Thor has dealt with faster characters than people give him credit for. For example, Hela herself said without a doubt her and Odin could take on eventually like an infinite amount of universes, which we know exists in the MCU. And they had already taken over literally multiple realms rather quickly. So MFTL plus, not to mention Thor's already fought characters using Infinity Stones that can cover the universe pretty an instant. So I guess you can kind of argue that to make Thor a lot closer in speed. I definitely think when he starts getting hit by Superman, because Superman's going to land the first hit in my opinion, the only way Thor lands the first hit is if Thor one-shots. And the reason I say that is if Thor throws Stormbreaker and Superman sits there and tries to laser it down stubbornly, it would cut through the laser vision and just strike him in the heart. I don't see him doing that, though. I see him like getting out of the way. So I don't see Thor hitting him first. I think the Superman's going to hit him several times first. Thor's going to get stronger and stronger and eventually get Superman and be able to hit him and really hurt him and start wearing him down. Don't think he's going to get statued by Superman when we compare their feats. It will take a while for Thor to put down Superman. He's got to catch him a few good times, but Superman I don't think hits hard enough with just the Snyder cut feats to for sure say he could put down Thor. I'm not confident in that. So I'm not willing to say that. And if he gets hit by any measure of Thor's like potential power, which is enough to like one-shot Thanos using Stormbreaker, and this same Thanos like casually scales above the Casket of Winters and stuff like that, and cubes that can contain the power of Infinity Stones he can crush with his literal fucking fingers. Like he's ridiculous. The fact that he hits hard enough to damage someone like that is crazy. So he will hurt Superman, especially when he's pissed off. Both are going to be pissed off brawling. It's rough. I give it to Thor 6 out of 10. Highest of difficulties. Now, to quickly address narrative, I do believe if Snyder had been given the ability to make a trilogy, I think Superman would have surpassed Thor with the way he was going to fight Anti-Life Darkseid. Eventually, I believe that's how the story would have gone. And I think he would have eventually had feats to put him in the AP tier of Thor that he needs to put down Thor. I think he would have been given that in the trilogy. and would have beaten Thor. So I think he would have taken it in that. And I think that's why it bothers a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people understand that narratively Snyder Cut Superman, if given the full run, would have eventually surpassed Thor. They know that. But he didn't. And he wasn't given the full run. That's where I stand on this. Thor wins for superior power and durability. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Who do you think would win? Let's try to have a friendly discussion. Put a lot of effort into this video, and I hope it showed. I hope you liked it. Subscribed if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell. All that. Thank you for watching. It's been your boy YFE, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.